Guys, in the last video we have seen that flow of execution about the static context between static variable, static method and like a static block. Again we are going to see one more example on the basis of the static context now. Let us check this example. Right sir. Now I will take class A. Inside this class A I will take static int m1 method. Inside this sys.out.println of m1a. Then after that its return type is integer, so here we have to return 10 value. 10 we return. After that static block, here we are going to take inside the static block sys.out.println of sba. Static block here we are getting. Then after this sba, other thing is which one? Static int I is equal to m1 method. Here we provide it. Right, so this is what exactly the program here we provided about this class game. Next one is which one? Just will come for this public class test, public static void main string array args. A1 is equal to new a, one object we created. A2 is equal to new a, second object is created. Overall two objects are created for class game. That's fine. Right sir, if I run this example, what exactly the output here we are getting now? Which output here we are able to get? Now here we have to understand clearly. First of all, understand this. If I compile this Java file, inside the Java file here we are having two classes. What are the two classes? Class A and class test. If I compile this Java file, there we are able to get two dot class files. What are the two dot class files here? We are able to get a dot class and next one is which one? Test dot class. Two dot class files here we are able to get. Clear? When we are getting two dot class files, when we are executing this test, means that when we provide Java space test on command prompt, then immediately JVM will load test class bytecode to the memory. JVM will load test class bytecode to the memory. When JVM is loading test class bytecode to the memory, then after that JVM will start execution of this main method. JVM will search for main method. If main method is available, then JVM will execute this main method. When JVM is executing main method, now inside this main method, JVM encounter first object creation statement. JVM encounter first object creation statement. What is this first object creation statement here now? A1 is equal to new a constructor, it encounter here now. When JVM encounter this first object creation statement, first JVM has to load a class bytecode to the memory. First JVM has to load a class bytecode to the memory. But just before loading a class bytecode to the memory, just before loading a class bytecode to the memory, before loading a class bytecode to the memory, first JVM has to check whether a class bytecode is already loaded or not. Previously a class bytecode is existed or not inside the respective memory, that JVM will check it. If a class bytecode was already loaded, if a class bytecode is already loaded, then JVM will not load again and again same class bytecode to the memory. If a class bytecode is not loaded previously, then definitely JVM will load a class bytecode to the memory. Now what is the situation for this class K now? Previously no object is created for class K, so we have not loaded a class bytecode to the memory previously. So now here JVM has to load a class bytecode to the memory. Now JVM is loading a class bytecode to the memory. Exactly at the time of loading a class bytecode to the memory, at the time of loading a class bytecode to the memory, if you have any static context, then JVM will recognize and execute static context what we provided in a class K. JVM will recognize and execute static context in a class K. Now let us check this in a class K, what exactly the static context is available. Static context is including three elements, we know already. Static variables, static methods and static blocks. Okay fine. If you provide these three elements, in which order they are going to be executed? In which order they are provided in our respective class K, in the same order they are going to be executed. Now if you observe this particular one here, now inside this First one is, here we are getting which one, static method is available. We know already the situation for this method. Method won't be executed directly. That method may be static method, or that method may be instance method. Whatever it may be, method will not be executed directly. When methods are going to be executed in Java, when we call method, then only method will be executed. Method will not be executed. If the variable is static variable, if the thing is static variable and static block, no, automatically they will be executed while loading bytecode. But method situation is not like that. Method will be executed when we call. If you call static method at load time, then it will be executed at load time. If we call the static method at runtime, then it will be executed at runtime. But unfortunately, our method is M1 method is which one? Static method. So static method must be called. Then only method will be executed. Now just it is method definition only. It is not method call. Now JVM will not be executed this one. Next one is which one? Directly static block is identified here. Static block is identified. When a static block is identified here, immediately JVM will execute the static block. JVM will execute static block. What exactly the output here we are getting there? SBA is the first output here we are getting. Static block is eligible, then static block is executing. So here that output is which one here? No, SBA is the first output here we are getting directly. Whenever this SBA output here we are getting there, next one is which one? Then after that, JVM will encounter which one here? No, static variable. Static int I is equal to M1 method. JVM will encounter which variable there? No, static variable. Static int I is equal to M1 method. So I variable is static variable, so it is eligible. It will be recognized and initialized automatically while loading respective class bytecode. Okay, whenever this I variable is recognized, then it must have initialization part here. If you want to go for this initialization part, then right side part will be executed. M1 method will be executed. When M1 method is trying to be executed, flow of execution is coming to which one there? M1 method. Inside this M1 method, which section is available here? No, system.out println of M1A is existed here. When M1A output here we are getting there, immediately after that return 10 value here we are getting. Return statement is available where 10 value here we provided here. Return 10 is existed here. Then immediately the 10 value will be assigned to which variable here? No, I variable. Whenever 10 value is coming to the I variable, the total static method will be executed. Okay, finally I variable is recognized and as well as which one? Initialized. So A class bytecode was loaded. At the time of loading A class bytecode to the memory, at the time of loading A class bytecode to the memory, which output here we are getting there in this program? That output would be like which one here? No, first output is SBA and second output is which one here? No, M1A output here we are getting. SBA and next one is which one? M1A. Up to this output here we are getting there. Then after that, after loading A class bytecode to the memory, now JVM has to execute constructor. Now which constructor is available in class K? Now tell me no. Do you have any constructor in class K? No, we have not provided any constructor explicit in class K. Okay, fine. If you have not provided any constructor in class K, then by default compiler will append one constructor. By default compiler will provide one constructor. If you have not provided any constructor, the compiler provided constructor is called as which one? Default constructor. So in our class K, default constructor is existed. In our class K, which constructor is existed here? No, default constructor is existed. Okay, now JVM is going to execute default constructor. But here also the point is which one? Just before executing default constructor, if I have any instance context in our class K, first instance context will be recognized and executed. First instance context will be recognized and executed. After that only constructor will be executed. Right, sir? Fortunately, here we are not having any instance context. At the same time, we are not having any explicit constructor in the respective class K. So, not required to execute instance context. Why? Because no instance context is available and constructor is also be not executed in this particular scenario. So, finally, default constructor is executed. By the execution of the default constructor, first object is created for class K. Directly, which object is created here? No, first object is created for this class K. Whenever first object is created, with respect to the first object creation, which output here we are getting there? First output is SBA, next one is which one? M1A. That's it. That one is the output here we are getting. After completion of this, JVM will encounter which intersection? No, another intersection. What about this another intersection here? A small a2 is equal to new A constructor. Means that again another new object is created here. Another new object is creating inside our main method. For class K, another new object is creating. So whenever this JVM encounter this particular intersection object creation statement, first JVM has to load A class bytecode to the memory. First JVM has to load A class byte code to the memory. When JVM is loading A class byte code to the memory, just before loading A class byte code to the memory, first JVM has to check whether A class byte code is already existed or not. If A class byte code is already existed, if A class byte code is already existed, if already existed A class byte code is already existed, for example, then JVM will not load again and again the same class byte code to the memory. It will reuse the same existed byte code. Means that it will reuse the existed context, static context here now. Okay, fine. If A class byte code is not available previously, then definitely JVM has to load which one? A class byte code to the memory. Then what was the situation now? The situation is which one? Already A class byte code is already loaded while creating first object. At the time of creating first object, no, byte code was loaded already for class K. So while creating second object, no need to load again same A class byte code. Why? Because why it is not required to load A class byte code to the memory in the second time here? Already A class byte code was loaded, so not required to load second time A class byte code. Whenever second time A class byte code is not loading, second time static context is not going to be executed. Static context is not going to be executed. So if you have not loaded class byte code, static context will not be executed. If you load class byte code, then only static context will be executed here. So because of that reason, the second object creation statement is not going to load A class byte code, so is not going to execute static context again here. Okay, fine. So it is completed. A class byte code is not loaded, static context is not executed, but constructor will be executed once again. Constructor will be executed once again here. When constructor is executed once again, just before executing constructor, if you have any instance context, that instance context will be recognized and initialized, recognized and executed. After that only constructor will be executed. So in our program, no instance context is available, no explicit constructor is available. So default constructor will be executed inside our class K. By the execution of the default constructor, second object will be created. The second object reference value will be assigned to which variable here now? A2 variable clearly. So overall, with respect to this total program, we created object 2 times here. We created object for class K, but only one time that byte code was loaded. Even though we created 2 objects, but only one time that byte code was loaded. So if you observe this total byte code, if you observe this total content here, if you observe the total program, what exactly the output here we are going to get from this total program here? First output is which one? SBA, and second output is which one here? No, M1A output here we are getting. Now let me run this example. If you run this example here, we are able to get that output is which one here? SBA, and next output is which one here? Directly M1A. This output here we are getting there. So from this program, what is the conclusion here we are getting? For a single class, byte code will be loaded only one time, but we can create any number of objects. Means that for a single class, static context will be executed only one time, but we can create any number of objects and we can execute any number of times in instance context. Of course, in this example, I have not provided instance context, but if you have any instance context, that will be executed how many number of times we are creating objects, but static context will be executed only one time. This is what exactly the flow of execution about our which one there? No, static context directly.